Cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of
G'day and welcome back to the channel, Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I'm the Ginger Ninja and these of course are my movie reviews. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. You're probably wondering what I'm doing here. Well, this is my Franchise Friday series. So it's Friday here in Australia and I'm looking at a franchise. We're currently looking at the Hellraiser series and we're up to Hellraiserdeader. This one came out in 2005, so it's been a huge 5-year gap between the previous one and this one, and let's see if anything's changed. But look, before I do want to say a big thank you to all my new and existing subscribers. Of course, I do this every week, but truly it means the world to me. You're here week in, week out, listening to me blather on about these movies, so thank you. It's much appreciated. Anyway, let's get into this one. Now, there will be spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen it, well, you might actually be missing out on something. Anyway, directed by Rick Boter, who directed the previous one, and he also directs the next one as well, I believe. I'm not sure if he directs any more after that, but we'll have a look at that. The film stars Kariwuhrer, Paul Reese, Simon Kunz, Georgina Rylance, and of course, Dougbradley. Now, interestingly enough, this film was filmed in Romania at the same time as The Prophecy Uprising and The Prophecy Forsaken. Now, interestingly enough as well, both starred Kariwuhrer, and Prophecy Uprising also starred Dougbradley. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting, you know. But anyway, let's see how this one fares, because those ones weren't great. Now the plot, and a journalist uncovers an underground group who can bring back the dead. That's written really badly, and slowly becomes drawn into their world. Yes and no. And look, we'll discuss more of that as we get into it, but it's not really the plot. Anyway, there will be spoilers ahead. Of course, if you haven't seen it, you know, came out, 19 years ago. You've had time. And like I said, you might actually be missing out on something, but let's get into this one. So this is, I feel, a lesser known entry in the Hellraiser franchise, and it was filmed simultaneously with the direct sequel to this one. Well, direct, but Hellworld. But it is a bit of a mixed bag. It's directed by Rick Boter, who, like I mentioned, he worked on Inferno and Hellworld. This film attempts to blend more of the supernatural horror elements with, I guess, more of a mystery thriller. And does have a bit of a twist to it. I like the idea of the cult dedicated to bringing the dead back to life. That was pretty intriguing. It adds a layer of existential horror that's a nice departure from the usual, cenobite-centric story. And I mean, that's not to say it doesn't have the cenobites in it. It does, and they do feature quite prominently in it. And more on that later. But this film has an exploration of life, death, the afterlife, and it's not thought-provoking, like deep and meaningful, but it does make you think about some things, and unfortunately it just doesn't land perfectly each time. Anyway, let's have a look more into it and see what this 7th installment in the Hellraiser franchise actually brings to the table. Okay, so let's have a look at the cast, and we're led by Kariwuhrer, who in the other film, the Prophecy films, I wasn't a huge fan of her portrayal of her character in The Prophecy Uprising. I did enjoy her character in The Prophecy Forsaken, and in this film, she delivers a really solid performance. And she brings a mix of curiosity and vulnerability to her role. Now, that's not to say she didn't do it with her previous film. I just thought her character in this one was more developed. It's probably the best way I can describe it. But look, her character is well defined, and even though occasionally they fall into horror cliches, she fits well into her character as a journalist, and her descent into the cult's disturbing and unconventional world is convincing, and it does add a layer of tension to the film. Another highlight was Paul Rees as Winter, who was a suitably enigmatic and menacing character in the film. His portrayal as the cult leader balances charisma and madness, and it adds depth to the character's obsession with death and resurrection. I would have liked to have seen his character expanded on, though. There's not enough of him in there. And of course, Doug Bradley. Now, what can you say? Like, he embodies Pinhead. And as always, he brings a presence to the character. But look, this is another film where his screen time is limited. You know, we need a Hellraiser film with just Pinhead and Doug Bradley as Pinhead. That's what we need. But look, his performance maintains the character's ominous and authoritative demeanour that he's brought throughout the entire franchise. So, yeah, he maintains that level of, just, I don't even know what to call it now, but yeah, he's just good. Now onto the directing and the writing, and look, I'll be honest, one of the film's strongest points is its eerie atmosphere. The setting combined with this grim storyline, it creates a really compelling backdrop that enhances the horror elements. The film effectively builds a sense of dread, which is crucial for any good horror flick. Again, this is a film that had the Hellraiser aspects shoehorned into it. And that caused the script to be rewritten, and it actually included an almost entirely new third act and plot devices, such as making Winter a descendant of the toy maker Le Marchand. But that being said, would this film have differed if no changes had been made? It wouldn't have been a Hellraiser film, but would it be as good? Would it have stood on its own? I guess we'll never actually know, but I would like to think it would have. Not to say that I don't enjoy the Hellraiser elements in this one, though. But the film does suffer from some pacing problems, and occasionally it drags, and that's particularly in the middle act. It makes it feel like a bit of a slog than a tense horror ride. And some scenes could have been tightened up to just maintain some momentum, whether that's due to the script rewrites or whether that's just due to poor writing and editing. Yeah, we just got to take it as it is. Now onto the effects, and the Hellraiser movies are known for their practical effects and gruesome visuals. And Deader is no exception. There is blood everywhere in some of these scenes. One thing I have noticed though is there's no skinless people. Now, I don't think we've seen one of them since maybe the fourth one. Yeah, which is unfortunate because that was a staple in the Hellraiser films, or it was becoming one. And look, this is probably due to budgetary constraints, and these are evident in this film, but it does make good use of the resources that it has to deliver some genuinely disturbing imagery. The scenes involving the cult's resurrections, or their rituals, are particularly effective, and they kind of blend body horror with supernatural elements. And that's, in a way, it's both grotesque and fascinating. I mean, it's not body horror in the sense of, say, society or anything like that, but you're seeing people walk around with open wounds, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, that being said, the special effects, especially the CGI, are very hit and miss. Some scenes look pretty dated, and lack the visceral impact that practical effects can deliver. Which, to me, it's a shame, because the practical effects in the original films are a big part of their charm. Now on to rewatchability, and one of the main criticisms of Deader is that it sometimes feels disjointed. And look, that's a consequence of the script being repurposed from an unrelated horror story to fit the Hellraiser mythos. And look, as a result, some elements feel tacked on, and Pinhead's presence, while iconic, can seem a bit forced. However, this one offers enough creepy moments and macabre thrills to be worth a watch, or even a rewatch. So yeah, I'd definitely give this one a rewatch. Now, final thoughts. And look, Hellraiser Deader may not be the strongest entry in the series, but it is an interesting one, and it does offer a fresh take on the Hellraiser lore by mixing in investigative horror elements with the franchise's signature dark themes. If you're a fan of the series, or you enjoy horror movies that aren't afraid to get a little weird and somewhat unsettling, especially on that train, give this one a go. What have you got to lose? Look, just prepared for a ride that's more eerie investigation than straightforward slasher. And it's definitely a step over Hellseeker. A big jump. So yeah, a lot of people warned me that these were going to be not great, but hey, this one's a step up in my opinion. Overall, for a score, I would give it a 6 out of 10. There you have it. That is my review of Hellraiser Deader. Have you seen this one? What did you think of it? Let me know down in the comments below, because I am keen to hear your thoughts on these ones, because like I said, a lot of people have said they're not great. I want to know what you guys think of them. Are they good? Are they bad? Why don't you like them? Why do you like them? Let me know. Keen to hear your thoughts. So anyway, look, before I ramble on too much, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, you know what to do. Hit the thumbs up button, be much appreciated. Subscribe to my channel if you're still here and listening to me ramble on. Again, always appreciated. And if you hit that notification bell, obviously you will be notified every time I do release a new review. We've got Franchise Fridays, we've got Trasher Tuesday, or Trashy Tuesday, Trasher. Maybe I'm trying to do Slasher Tuesday. No, doesn't rhyme. Trashy Tuesdays, that's better. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.